Mars, the red planet. For centuries, it's captivated our imaginations. But here's the thing. Mars is a cold, lifeless desert. No oxygen to breathe, no water to drink, and temperatures that would make the South Pole feel balmy. Yet Elon Musk and SpaceX are on a mission to send humans to Mars, not just for a visit but permanently. Now I know what you're thinking. Sounds like a one-way ticket to a very uncomfortable demise. And you wouldn't be entirely wrong. It's a risky, ambitious, some might even say crazy plan, but SpaceX isn't known for shying away from a challenge. They've already revolutionized space travel with reusable rockets and private missions. So how do they plan to pull this off? What kind of technology will it take to not only get us to Mars, but allow us to actually survive there? Get ready to have your mind blown because we're about to break it all down. Elon Musk isn't just trying to get a few people to walk around on Mars and plant a flag. He's thinking bigger, much bigger. His vision? To make humanity a multi-planetary species. See, right now, all our eggs are in one basket, Earth. One giant asteroid, one global pandemic, one nuclear mishap, and it's game over for humankind. Mars, according to Musk, is our insurance policy, our backup plan. But it's not just about escaping a doomed Earth. Musk envisions a fully independent Martian city, home to not just a handful of astronauts but millions of people. Think about that. Homes, schools, hospitals, restaurants, even movie theaters, on Mars. Now, we're not talking about a few geodesic domes and a hydroponic garden. We're talking factories churning out goods, sprawling agricultural zones, and bustling urban centers. A completely self-sufficient society that doesn't rely on Earth for anything. This is a future where humans aren't bound to a single planet, where we've expanded our reach into the cosmos. It's a bold, audacious goal, and pulling it off will be incredibly difficult. But remember, every great achievement in human history was once considered impossible, until it wasn't. Alright, so how do we get millions of people to Mars? Well, it all starts with a rocket, but not just any rocket. Enter Starship, the most powerful launch vehicle ever conceived. This thing is a beast, designed to carry over 100 tons of cargo, and up to 100 passengers per trip to Mars and beyond. But Starship isn't just big and powerful, it's also designed for reusability. That's right. No more tossing rocket stages into the ocean after a single use. Starship can fly to Mars, land, and then fly back again just like an airplane. This is absolutely revolutionary for space travel, drastically reducing the cost of each mission. And it's not just an idea on paper. SpaceX is building and testing Starship right now. They've already had some impressive test flights, and while they haven't sent one to Mars just yet, it's only a matter of time. But here's the thing. Even with a fully reusable, super powerful rocket like Starship, getting to Mars is only half the battle. The real challenge is figuring out how to live there. And maybe even more importantly, how to get back home. Think about it. You've packed up your Starship with everything you need for a new life on Mars. You've blasted off, survived the months-long journey, and successfully touched down on the red planet. Congratulations, you're officially a Martian. But now what? You can't exactly call an Uber to get back to Earth, and this is where things get really tricky. You see, Starship can't carry enough fuel for a round trip to Mars. It's just not feasible with current technology. So, SpaceX has come up with a rather ingenious, if somewhat audacious solution: make fuel on Mars. Remember that thin Martian atmosphere we talked about? Well, it turns out it's mostly carbon dioxide. And with a little bit of chemical wizardry, we can convert that CO2 into methane, which just so happens to be a fantastic rocket fuel. But wait, there's more. Mars also has water ice trapped beneath its surface. Extract that water, break it down into hydrogen and oxygen, and voila, you have even more rocket fuel. This process, called the Sabatier reaction, is the key to SpaceX's plan for a sustainable Mars colony. If they can pull it off, Mars won't just be a one-way trip. It will be the first planet humans can travel between, opening up a whole new era of interplanetary exploration and colonization. Okay, let's say we figured out the whole rocket fuel situation. We can get to Mars and maybe even back again. But how do you actually live on a planet that seems hell-bent on killing you? Mars is essentially a death trap for humans. The air is unbreathable, the temperatures are extreme, and the radiation from space is constantly bombarding the surface. This is where the real engineering challenges begin. First, we need somewhere to live that protects us from the elements and that pesky radiation. SpaceX envisions underground habitats or heavily shielded domes, essentially creating artificial environments where we can breathe, grow food, and live relatively normal lives. Speaking of food, forget about traditional farming. Martian soil isn't exactly fertile. Instead, we'll be relying on hydroponics, growing crops in nutrient-rich water solutions, all powered by solar and potentially even nuclear energy. Remember, Mars has no oil reserves or fossil fuels, so we need to generate our own power. Then there's the issue of getting around. You can't exactly go for a leisurely stroll on Mars without a pressurized rover or a specialized suit. Every aspect of life on Mars, from breathing to eating to simply moving around, will require careful planning and advanced technology. It's a daunting challenge, but SpaceX is confident that it's possible. They're already working on developing the technologies needed to make human life on Mars a reality. Alright, so when are we packing our bags for Mars? Well, hold your horses, Space Cowboy, this isn't happening tomorrow. But it's not as far off as you might think. SpaceX operates on incredibly aggressive timelines. First up, we're looking at unmanned Starship test flights to Mars sometime in the mid-2020s. This will be crucial for testing out the technology, gathering data, and making refinements. Then, if all goes well, we could see the first crewed mission to Mars sometime in the 2030s. This will be a historic moment marking humanity's first steps on another planet. From there, the goal is to establish a permanent base on Mars, a foothold for future expansion. Think of it as the first Martian outpost, a stepping stone towards a larger colony. This could happen sometime in the 2040s. And finally, if Elon Musk and SpaceX have their way, we could see a self-sustaining city on Mars by the end of the 21st century. A city of 1 million people, thriving on a planet once thought to be barren and lifeless. Sound crazy? Maybe. But remember, just a few decades ago, the idea of reusable rockets seemed like something out of science fiction. And yet, here we are. SpaceX has already turned the world of space travel upside down. Reusable rockets, private space flights, and now, the most ambitious plan of all, a city on Mars. This isn't just science fiction anymore, folks, it's quickly becoming a reality. But let's be clear, this isn't going to be easy, it's going to be dangerous, incredibly expensive, and there are still huge technological hurdles to overcome. People could die, missions could fail, the stakes are incredibly high. But here's the thing. SpaceX is actually trying. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible, taking risks, and daring to dream big. And that's what it takes to move humanity forward, to push beyond our limits and explore the vast unknown.